Cooper on the cover. I'm like, is this the new Caitlin Clark of the WNBA? Is this guy going to take over? Is it? I go on like all the smoke with Matt Barnes and former NBA players all the time, and they're like, man, we need a white American player to take the league by storm. We haven't had one since Larry Bird. First guy drafted first since 77. Brian, is this a bigger deal than we're making it, or is this good for the league? What do you think about this whole thing in Dallas?
Well, I can tell you this. We had a draft party last night in Dallas at the arena where we broadcast the draft live, and obviously had Cooper on right after the pick. We had about 8,000 people in the arena when the pick was announced, and right after that, and it was supposed to go till like 9 o'clock. It was 7 Central, and they announced that the jerseys were on sale in the fan shop, and about 5,000 of those people left and went and go hit to buy jerseys. So there's a ton of excitement in Dallas. I can tell you that much.
Wow.
That's huge, man. Super exciting. It's still weird to me. You go from one franchise player who we thought was going to be your franchise player in Luka, and we saw the emotions with that. And now it's like, fast forward a few months later, you got your next franchise player that quick. And it seems like the excitement and everything it's the emotions went from being excited for Luka, pissed off that he got traded, back to excited for like Cooper Flagg. Like, do you feel like the Mavs fans are now over the fact that they traded away Luka?
I think people are really excited. It's interesting you bring up having, that kind of player. I was thinking about this the other day. Dirk came in 99 and he played for 21 years with just the Mavs. He's the only player ever to play that long with one team. He had that one overlap year with Luka. Then we had 5.5 more years of Luka. We had 2 months of tough sledding. And then now we got an 18-year-old that doesn't turn 19 until December. You could have 20 years of Cooper Flagg. So you literally have 47 straight years, except for those 2 months of having that guy on your roster. It's almost unprecedented. The only comp I can really think of is maybe Green Bay with their quarterback position from Favre in like 94 to current still. I don't know that you've seen a franchise in all of sports other than that always kind of has that guy on your team. We're very fortunate here.
No doubt. I got to ask you, how'd you guys win the lotto?
You know what? I need to start playing it if we're lucky like that. That's crazy. I know. I was watching.
We've had Don Hillion, the former referee in the NBA who got caught, all the stuff. We had him on, and he was real candid, and he was like, man, there's a lot of things that happen, but I'm not bringing no conspiracy up, but I'm just messing around with you. But like, it's kind of crazy that you got that first pick, and there were rumors that they could trade him away. That was never in the playing cards, was it?
No, I think they were focused on him from day one. It's funny. We were going to go, I've got a podcast here with the Mavs, and we were going to do a live stream of the lottery just to kind of do it and have our reaction. And then we canceled it because we're like, hey, listen, we got a less than 2% chance. What are we going to do? Go on for an hour? And then we got the 11th pick. Okay, we got the 11th pick. Like, what else do we talk about? So we just didn't do it. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. So that would have been fun to see our reaction, because my reaction in real time, I barely even watched it. I was like literally folding laundry here at my house and was like kind of keeping an eye on it. And when we didn't get 11, I was like, what's going on here? And then I jumped up and screamed like a little girl. So it was crazy.
You guys have assembled, probably Nico's probably assembled the best, front court in basketball, arguably, you can say, with all the young, long rim protectors. Are you guys done? With Kyrie being out probably until who knows, a loaded roster on paper, but when Kyrie comes back, are you guys going to do some other things this offseason to help in the backcourt?
I think they're going to find a guard to, Kyrie will be back hopefully January. He's attacking his rehab really hard. So we have to have somebody who can help kind of organize the offense in the meantime. So I think that's going to be what we're going to use our 5.7, non-taxpayer mid-level on. We'll bring a guard in. Outside of that, PJ's up for an extension in August. Nico said last night, he's a part of this team going forward. They just signed Gaffer. They just signed Kyrie. I think that's your team. And so you got Kyrie, Cooper, PJ, AD, and then Gaffer or Lively. I like going to war with that group.
That is a really good group. So I guess once Kyrie gets back healthy, assuming he comes back to like full form, Are the expectations to like go on a deep playoff run like immediately, or is this year, since it is Cooper's rookie year, is it kind of like one of those fill out years, allow him to get accustomed to the league, and then maybe in year 2, year 3, try to really amp it up and like go for it?
Well, I think they're trying to go for it now. There's basically a 3-year window. If you look at Kyrie's deal, AD's deal, this is kind of the win now. And the beauty of that is you've got a kid under price control for 4 years who's really, really good and is going to come out of the box and start and contribute in Cooper, along with the team you already have. So they're going to go for it now. And then, as Nico even said last night, this will be Cooper's team in about 3 years where, oh, by the way, he's just 21 and you can start rebuilding around him at that point.
Do you have any concerns at all about Jason Kidd not being there? I know there were some, I don't know. I don't know what his contract situation is right now. I'm sure you could tell me more about that, but I know there were conversations. The Knicks are trying to poach everybody who's already on the staff, and you were hearing things about that. Any concerns at all there or no?
Nico was asked that last night in his post-draft press conference, and he said very clearly Jason Kidd's going to be the coach of this team next year. Gotcha. So I don't have any doubt. I think he's super excited about having Cooper on board and what this team is going forward.
Cooper, Flagg, number 1 pick, probably solidified Jason Kidd's.
That's right. That's a nice little thing to look forward to.
It helps out a little bit.
No. Now, let me ask you about AD. AD, is that a done deal? Is he glued in there, or is there a possibility that he still is there negotiation there going on?
He's under contract for 3 more years. He is part of this thing going forward. That's who Nico targeted when he wanted to make the trade, and he. Listen, the last game he played 40 points, left it all out there. He's going to be ready to go.
No doubt. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
For sure, man. Obviously, NBA Finals just ended. OKC, winning it. There's already been talks in the media of asking hey, could this potentially be the start of a dynasty? Only because that team is so young. And the unique thing about this finals matchup with the Pacers and OKC is that it wasn't built upon big threes and these mega teams. It was really one center star player with a whole bunch of really good role players and kind of going into that team ball, mentality. Do you kind of foresee, I guess whether it's the Mavs or just the rest of the league kind of taking on this model? We do know the NBA is a copycat league, and whoever wins the championship, it seems like everyone wants to follow that model. So do you feel like that could happen?
Yeah, you can't have super teams anymore with the way the cap is structured. If not to get in the minutia, but the second apron, it's not only financial penalties, it's team building penalties. You can't make certain trades. You lose your first round draft pick if you're in that repeatedly. We've had 7 champions in 7 years. That's by design. The league wants parity. Oklahoma City's going to have their own issues once they have to start paying those guys.
Yeah,
then they're going to have to break that team up, just like Boston did. We thought Boston was going to do that forever. And all of a sudden they had to start dismantling that team because it got too expensive. Now, what Oklahoma City can do is backfill because they got so many draft picks. So they'll let some of those guys go, and then hopefully their picks would backfill and be cheaper versions. That's the model, I think, going forward that you'll see. But this idea of putting 3 max players together, it just doesn't work anymore.
Your cross-state rival just got KD. They got rid of a young Jalen Green. Houston Rockets, obviously. Do you guys ever look at that in state and say, hey, we got to kind of they're all in the West. I argue that KD should have went to the East if he wanted an easier path. The West is loaded. We just mentioned Minnesota, OKC winning it all. Houston's we can argue they got better with KD or what have you. But do you guys ever look at that and say, hey, we got to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak? The West is really loaded, and the East has a lot of injuries with Tatum and Halliburton now and all that. It would have seemed like it'd be an easier path for KD. Dallas, though, it seems like they're one piece away maybe from being a true contender in the West. Is that ever looked at, or we just do our thing?
You don't game plan for one specific opponent, because I think what happens is if you say, look at the Mavs. After they lost to Boston in the finals, we said, well, we've got to build a team that can go beat Boston again. Well, we wouldn't have played Boston if we'd made the finals. You don't game plan against one opponent because you just never know year to year what team is going to be there. But in team of Houston, I think Houston made a really good deal. If you saw what they were missing a go-to scorer down the stretch. And so I actually really like the deal that they made by not losing any other of those key pieces other than Green. So they're, they were already second last year. They're going to be a problem.
And I just want to piggyback, like the West is so strong. Are there any key, I guess, guys, free agents or what have you out there that you guys have eyeballed or that you know of that can help Dallas immediately? I know you mentioned backcourt, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, with the way the finances are with the Mavs, because we do have AD, Kyrie, we got some big money on the books. It's really, you got about $5.5 million to go get a stopgap guard to play while Kyrie's injured and then play alongside him when he comes back. That's the marketplace we're in. Really the only team that's got cap room is the Nets. So it's a different world now. Everything's done by trades and the draft. The old days of, billions of dollars going off the board on July 1st are over.
What? I got a question for you. I mean, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just going to ask if there of the guards available, Chris Paul, Westbrook, D'Lo, is there any stopgap guy that you like more than the other, and just in those three names?
I like all those guys. I think that, when you talk about Chris Paul, you're talking about a leader off the court as well, which is great. He durable, just keeps playing and knows what he does and can organize that offense. What we need is somebody who can just kind of run things, not necessarily be a scorer, but be somebody who can put people in the right positions. We've got people who can score. And frankly, if you look at what Cooper Flagg can do, he was a 4 in college. He's maybe a 3 in the NBA. He's going to play 1 and 2. He's going to be a point forward. He can run things as well. So you don't need somebody that has to be, full-time point guard as well. He can be kind of a combo.
That's a good point for sure. I wanted to ask you, and obviously I said the Mavs today look like they're, the future is bright, but at times, I look back and see that, look at the success that Jalen Brunson has had with the Knicks and him, making to the Eastern Conference Finals. We know what type of player Luka is and type of superstar he is. I guess prior to, the Mavs getting this number 1 overall pick, was it like some regret amongst like the Mavericks organization or just the vibe in Dallas in regards to you lost 2 like star players for your franchise that are having a lot of success, especially on the Jalen Brunson side? Obviously, he has more time since he's been gone, but a lot of success. Like, is there any regret? I guess now it's not, but was there ever any regret?
Well, it's funny. I worked in the front office in all the way back to 2002. And if you remember in 2004, the Mavericks net Nash walk, and then he promptly won 2 MVPs in a row. And Mark Cuban, admitted, he said he got that one wrong. So look, there are times when organizations don't get everything right because of how things are evaluated, their finances or certain situations or what the player wants. But like I say, the Mavs got fortunate and the future is really bright now.
Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, I saw, I don't know if he's still out there, but the Brogdon kid makes sense for me for Dallas for a guy to come in because he can still help you out when Kyrie comes back. And I think Brogdon would be a hell of a fit. I saw that he's out there. Tyus Jones as well, I think, is another guy